Nature equals future. Natural light. In nature, there are some animals that possess the capacity to emit light. This is what is called bioluminescence. It can be observed, for example, in a squid that lives in the Pacific. It has a pocket in which bacteria produces light. Thanks to this luminous halo, its shape can be mistaken for the rays of light coming from the surface, and it can escape its predators. This natural light is the result of a chemical reaction. Could we adopt it to our society to reduce our electricity usage?
Bioluminescence consists in a reaction activated by a gene present in many marine organisms, such as algae and jellyfish, but also in terrestrial organisms, such as mushrooms and fireflies.
It is an enzyme, a protein that comes from DNA. This enzyme produces a chemical reaction inside a cell which will catalyze another reaction and emit light.
We work on bacterial bioluminescence, since some of these live in symbiosis with marine organisms, such as squid.
We're also working on other types of bioluminescence in the lab, such as jellyfish, fireflies, and mushrooms. Each enzyme possesses characteristics that are very interesting and yet very different.
The modifications we work on are not toxic since we work on non-pathogenic organisms. We insert a bioluminescence gene into them.
We do not modify anything. We simply give it the possibility to emit light. So, in terms of toxicity for the environment or for the biological organism, the risk is zero.
There are many aspects to this research. We are looking into improving the light intensity of the bacteria, increasing their lifespan, increasing the operating life of the light, adapting them to varying temperatures as they will be outside, and also into obtaining various colors.
This startup proposes to keep these bacteria alive in a nutritive environment encapsulated in an organic shell. Its objective is to obtain a 50 lumen intensity and 1 month light duration.
Bioluminescence is not a light which is comparable to a light generated by electricity. Its output is very different, and it has a very soft perception of light. It is a cold light. Therefore, the difficult part is to make it visible enough in a rather restricted area for it to be a real light source. Its first advantage is that it does not consume any electricity. The second is that it is a kind of light which will not disturb the city's ecosystem as artificial light does, which is kind of a twofold advantage.
Today's urban lighting is responsible for a light pollution that results in the disruption of hormonal cycles of all ecosystems. Take, for example, leaf fall on trees, but also those of insects, of animals, and of humans as well. Our products not emit on the same wavelength, and therefore the light our system emits is not responsible for any light pollution.
Our goal is to ultimately create an alternative light system which will replace the use of electricity in the urban landscape. We created Glowy to make lighting displays, as this has a lot of advantages, such as a customizable form for each brand. But it is also possible to equip street furniture, facades, street signs, or roads in the long run. Our goal is to ultimately replace the use of electricity in these fields. We are thinking of a reduction of around 20% of electricity consumption by equipping both window displays and other urban areas, thus allowing street lamps to be turned off. Our long-term objective is to have 1 in every 5 street lamps turned off, which would mean a 20% reduction in electricity consumption.
Nature will always have something to teach humans. Today, we use the enzyme of the squids, but tomorrow we could use the enzyme of another species.
Nature is the most efficient factory. There remain many other solutions to be discovered, and lighting is the real proof that it is possible to have light without electricity.
Illuminating tomorrow by using a nature-inspired, healthier, and more efficient light is a technological challenge, as well as a hopeful new source to diffuse light where it is presently missing.